This is Newsbreak, the latest Caribbean news highlights from the Caribupdate news service. I am Oslin Crosby. The Cave Hill campus of the University of the West Indies has confirmed a drastic decline in the number of Barbadian students enrolling at the tertiary institution this academic year as the government's austerity measures begin to take effect. Campus Registrar Ken Walters told reporters that overall there had been a total of 1,468 students registering this academic year, as compared to 2,240 at the start of the last academic year in 2013. Last year, Finance and Economic Affairs Minister Chris Sinclair, in his 2013-2014 budget presentation, said that effective 2014, Barbadian students pursuing studies at the university's 3 campuses will be required to pay their own tuition fees, while the government continues to fund the economic cost. Sinclair said the new policy would reduce the transfer to UWI by an estimated Barbadian $42 million a year. Walters said that the faculties most affected by the decline in student population were humanities and education, and that a high percentage decline in medical science and postgraduate students.
Questions are always asked about how we're going to manage the process of reductions. We're in a mode of review, constant review. In fact, yesterday the principal said we're going to meet every week basically to look and see how we can manage this process, because we cannot leave it to the end of a semester to make a determination. And therefore we are asking the deans and the heads of the various departments to constantly review what they have to do in terms of courses, programs, so that we're responding to a particular situation.
Firefighters in St. Lucia are continuing industrial action in spite that one of their key demands, the replacement of the fire chief, has been met. The St. Lucia Fire Service Association has greeted as a moral victory an announcement early this week by Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony that Fire Chief Leslie Fontenelle has accepted a secondment to the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. Fontenelle has been the focus of allegations of mismanagement leveled by members of the Fire Service Association. But despite the announcement of the secondment, the association has said that Anthony's address raises a number of unanswered questions, including who will replace Fontenelle as fire chief. National Security Minister Victor Lacobiniere is taking a dim view of the continuing industrial action by the firefighters.
I want to make it clear because the association is obviously playing its own political game. The association only very recently wrote to me on this issue, and they brought into focus a number of issues, and one of those issues was also the report of the Commission of Inquiry. I find it very improper, and we are talking about disciplined organizations, and this is the point, you know. Our disciplined organizations are breaking down to the point of leading in discipline in this country. You have written to the minister very recently on an issue. I saw, and I can say to you that they wrote to me, and I don't want to get into that public discussion, but in a most discourteous way of addressing the minister.
Fire partially destroyed a police station just outside of the Grenada capital, St. George's, on Wednesday. Officials say they are yet to determine the cause of the midday blaze at Montrouge, near to the tourism-dependent Grand Dance area. There is widespread speculation that the cause of the fire could have been electrical. The blaze affected mainly the living quarters of police officers on the top floor of the building. The body of the late Jamaican Agriculture Minister Roger Clark has arrived in the capital, Kingston, aboard an American Airlines flight late Wednesday. Clark, who died in the United States nearly 2 weeks ago, will be buried later this week. His body was greeted on arrival by a tearful Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller and former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, among other dignitaries. Clark's body will lie in state at the People's National Party PNP headquarters in Kingston on Thursday, September 11th. He is to be accorded an official funeral on Saturday, September 13th, at the St. George's Anglican Church in Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland, starting at 10:30 a.m. His body will be buried in his hometown in Glen Eiley, Williamsville, Westmoreland. This has been some of the news highlights from across the Caribbean on Caribupdate Newsbreak. For more breaking news, follow us on Twitter at Caribupdate. Caribupdate's Newsbreak is a production of West Park Global Media Inc. for the Caribupdate News Service.